What's up, everybody? So today I want to cover inventory management software. So as I mentioned briefly in an earlier video, inventory management software is something that is initially, when you first start out, have a couple products listed in your store. It's not 100% mandatory. I mean, it's never 100% mandatory, but you are trading off a lot of potential exposure to price changes that you're unaware of, or items going out of stock that you're unaware of, obviously putting you in a predicament where you have to fulfill an order and perhaps you can't get the product, or you can get it for a price that's much higher than what you sold it for. So you're trading off a very small amount of money a month that you're saving if you do not use inventory management software, for the potential of having a lot of headaches and a lot of problems. And in addition, I mean, it's just unrealistic once you get past, I would say, once you get past even like 10 items, in my opinion, because those are 10 items that you would have to check every day. I mean, to do it correctly, you'd actually have to check them multiple times a day, at the very least, in the morning and in the evening, whatever your local time is. If not, more times a day, maybe even 3 times a day, depending on how hot the product is and how much the price is fluctuating on the supplier site. Sometimes it doesn't fluctuate at all for months. Sometimes, depending on the supplier, it might fluctuate a couple times in a day. So it really depends. But regardless, you would have to keep a track of that manually. I mean, you can't do that with spreadsheets. I mean, there's different ways you can go about it without necessarily using an inventory management software per se. But again, a lot of hassle, a lot of headache. The ultimate goal of this business, other than to obviously make money, is to maximize your time, so that way, yes, you're making money, but you're also using your time in the best way possible. You don't want to just tie yourself up with these monotonous, tedious tasks that you could either get a software to take care of for a very small amount of money a month, or you could hire somebody to help you for much less money than what your time is worth. So with that being said, I'll get straight to the point then. I have 3 inventory management softwares that I've worked with, and I do recommend. I'm going to give them to you in the order that I do recommend them, and then I'm going to also mention another one, the other one that I initially I'll start with that one, which, to be honest, I don't recommend it any longer. It's the one that I started out with years ago, back in 2017, 2016, when I started really ramping up my dropshipping business, and they gave me and a lot of other drop shippers problems, specifically in summer 2018, when they were having some issues on their end with their developer account with eBay, and they messed a lot of people's accounts up. Luckily mine wasn't one of them, but shortly thereafter I moved on to another one, and then about a year ago I switched over to the one that I'm on now. Then there is one last one, so I'm going to cover a total of 4. There's one last one that I'm going to go over, which I'm familiar with. I've worked with, a little bit helping people with their stores. To be honest, I've never, much used it in my stores, but I know it is a reliable software. So the first one that I ever used, which the only reason I'm bringing it up is because you might see this name, and if you do see it, I want you to be aware of it and the history of it. And I don't know, to be honest, from 2 years ago when I last dealt with them until now, maybe they are better now. Perhaps it was just an issue that occurred at the time and they moved past it, as a company. But if I would have followed certain instructions they gave me, my eBay accounts wouldn't even exist today. So the name of that software is Skewgrid. It's one of the original price monitoring softwares, actually, for dropshippers. It's been around for a very, very long time, relative to what we're talking about here. Dropshipping, really, what we're talking about here, retail arbitrage, so it's only been around for maybe 6-7 years. So, but this has been around for a long time. This software. So, it's a management repricing tool. It connects with Amazon, eBay, several other shopping places, and it connects with several suppliers. So here's the pricing. And yeah, so basically how these softwares work is, and I'll jump into the next one in a second, but basically how these softwares work is you connect the item, the actual URL of the item you're listing, so whatever the supplier is, Home Depot, Walmart, Amazon, whatever, you put that into the software, and then you also put either your eBay listing link or your eBay listing ID number, and then you also have your parameters set for your different profit, your different percentages, your profit, your fees, so on and so forth. So, again, this one, to be honest, just because of my experience, I don't recommend it, but I mean, a lot of people still use it today. So I'm gonna just give you just a quick, little backstory as to what happened with this company, why I don't use them. In summer 2018, they started having issues with their developer accounts. So as a result, people's listings weren't getting updated. Mine were not getting getting updated either. For about a good month, I was keeping track of my prices manually, while I was initially I was waiting for them, or trying to give them time rather, to figure out whatever the problem is or was on their end. But then when I saw that it was just it was past the point of no return, I moved over to another solution, which I'll show you next. But the thing that really got to me about this company wasn't that the software wasn't working for a period. I did lose money on several orders that were either priced incorrectly, or the price updated late, or it put the item as in stock when really it was out of stock, or I had the item out of stock. Like, there would be certain items that it would show as out of stock no matter what, even though if I refresh my listing in Skewgrid, but then I go back to the supplier and it's in stock, and it would meet the parameters of what needed to be in stock, or what how it needed to be presented to be in stock. Because here you can put something like only prime items in stock, or not only non-prime items in stock. If not, it'll show it as out of stock. So it met the parameters, but still I was having issues. After a couple weeks, they announced in their Facebook group, actually, the Skewgrid Facebook group for customers of theirs, they announced that a way to get around this, a temporary fix with the issues that they were having with the software until they corrected it on their end, would be for each seller individually to go into eBay and create a developer account, and then from creating that developer account, they would provide you with a token, basically a developer authorization token that you would put in, and that would basically allow for you to connect your specific Skewgrid account to eBay as a developer to get past whatever issue they were having as a company, a block of some kind they had on their developer account for whatever reason. And I didn't follow those instructions, thankfully, because to me it just sounded really wacky, and I wasn't with it. I was just like, why am I going to do this? It doesn't make any sense, and it sounds like this is against eBay's terms of service, definitely. And I did some research, and which further led me to believe that. To make a long story short, every single person that I knew and that I saw in the group that followed those instructions, that created an eBay developer account, and followed the Skewgrid instructions to do what they had or what they said as a temporary fix, every single person got their account suspended without failure. When I saw that, to me, I was shocked. When I started to see it happen, this was like July of 2018, roughly, if I remember correctly. Right there, I canceled my subscription. I demanded a refund for what was left of my month period, or whatever it was at the time, and then, or my credits rather. I think it was a credit-based system, if I'm not mistaken, at the time. And they probably changed it up. Yeah, they changed it up. It used to be a credit-based system. You would get X amount of credits for X amount of dollars, and then every reprice of one of your items would cost you X amount of credits. So I guess they changed up their pricing a bit. So again, maybe these guys are better now, but after that fiasco, I got away from them as quick as I could. So I'm just only telling you this story to, if you do see this name and you want to consider it, do some research about it first. I'm just giving you my experience. For a period of time, it was a very good software. From like late 2016 to mid 2018, it worked very well. It never gave me issues, and then suddenly, it just overnight, everything went to shit, basically. But not to get too hung up on this one, I just wanted to give you that backstory in case you do see this name out there, which if you do research into inventory repricing softwares, you will. So the next one that I have used, not in my stores, but I've messed around with it, and I've helped others set it up who wanted to already get it set up, is DSM Tool. So this is another very good repricing software. If I'm not mistaken, they do also have non-API options. Their plans start, at free, $0 a month. You can just sign up and start listing a couple products, up to 25 listings for $0 a month, 25 bucks up to 500, so on and so forth as you need them. So you can see the different features and benefits. But this is another good tool. Again, I personally haven't used it in my stores, so I know it is a reputable tool. I mean, again, you research inventory repricing softwares. This will be one of the top ones that'll come out in your research, definitely, and it is a reputable tool. The next one, which is actually the one that I switched to after the whole fiasco with Skewgrid, is webseller.guru. So webseller.guru, also a very good software. Also started giving me some issues late last year, towards the middle, third quarter roughly of 2019. Started giving me some issues, to be honest. So I ended up ultimately switching to another inventory management software. Hopefully these guys have got the software better. It was, again, a very, very good software for a while. It has a lot more features, or had at the time a lot more features than Skewgrid did, and that brand DSM Tool, from what I saw. I'm just going to log in to one of my accounts here really quickly, just to show you an example. So I just want to show you the actual backlog. Alright, so, or not the backlog, sorry, the actual product listing. So here is, all of them are going to be set up in the same way, okay? Meaning, all the inventory repricing softwares are going to have these basic fields, okay? You're going to have your supplier price, in this case is Amazon. The way that I added this in, and again, it's very straightforward. It's basically just usually either you copy and paste URL from your supplier, the Home Depot or Amazon URL, actually, of that listing page, and then you paste it into the software and it detects it, or you may need to put in the actual item identifier specifically. So it depends, but again, it's very straightforward. It tells you exactly what it needs from you, so it's not rocket science here. Tax, I always put my tax, I'm in Florida, but I always put my tax at 7%. Tax in the US sales tax can go all the way up to, in some cases, up to about 9%, a little bit higher than 9% in certain states. So having a 7% tax, will there be the occasion where maybe it ships to a state where it's a 9% tax rate and you get dinged by a couple percent? Yes, it could happen. But for every one of those, there's going to be another one that you're going to ship to. You're going to ship a product to a state where you're going to get hit with no sales tax, so then you make that extra 7%. So it's a give and take like anything. But this has always worked out for me. Keeping my price more competitive, I feel. My profit, I always keep it at 15%. Initially when I start off, I might do some tiered pricing, as I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, especially if I'm starting up a newer account. I might want to, do some tiered pricing. As I'm selling, I start to increase my price, so that way I start to get sales on that specific product. And then as, I become more of an authority with multiple items sold of that product, then I ramp up my profit. But, again, I recommend you start, no lower. I mean, even if you're first starting out, the target should always be at least 15% ultimately, but you want to make at least a couple bucks, even on a small item. You want to make at least a couple bucks, no matter what. So I wouldn't even waste my time trying to, even if it's a $4 or $5 item that you're drop shipping or reselling, try to make a couple bucks on it. Don't just try to make 50 cents or some ridiculousness. It's not worth your time, really. Taxes, PayPal, eBay, etc. So PayPal and eBay, which now eBay is doing managed payments, thankfully, so everything's being managed by them, but the fees work out the same roughly, meaning that eBay has always charged for a regular account 10% for most products as a final value fee, and then if you have a store, it's usually 9% or less, depending again on the product that you're selling. And then PayPal would always have about 3.5% fee roughly. So eBay payments now is roughly about the same on the PayPal side of about 3.5%. So 14%, you know, factoring in your 9 if you have an eBay store, and then 3.5, I just added an extra 0.5%, so I put 14. Should be good to go there. Also, PayPal, which again, eBay payments is now doing the same thing, per transaction, per individual actual transaction, in addition to the 3.5% that they take out, or 3%, whatever it is, they also charge a per transaction, I think it's 25-cent fee. eBay payments does the same thing, a 25% fee just for the actual transaction. So you have 30 cents factored in there just to cover that cost, obviously. You know, and this so when the price is out of stock, 0%. Okay, that you're just gonna leave it. That you don't have to fill that in. Shipping price always gonna be 0 because, you know, we're always gonna charge free shipping. Supplier discount, I don't mess with that. When an item is out of stock, or when a quantity is 0, set quantity is 0 when a product is out of stock, rather. What this means is, I mean, you have to have the out of stock feature enabled in your eBay store, which I'll show you how to do that in a later video if you're not familiar. But setting the quantity to 0 when the product is out of stock basically just it just puts the item out of stock automatically in your store is what that means. It won't pull the listing. So if the item goes out of stock on Amazon, then Web Seller Guru in this example, or whatever software, they all have this feature, will drop the stock down to 0, showing that it's out of stock. So it's not going to just pull your listing, it's just going to put it out of stock, and then when it comes back in stock, it will put it back in stock. When the product is in stock, what is the quantity you want it to be put to? And then in addition, whenever an item sells, it's going to be the same quantity automatically you're going to put it to. I always have it at 1. Some people put it at 5, 10, whatever. To me, it makes no sense to do that, because when you have a product that it's sold multiple times and then you're showing it has only 1 left, number one, you're creating urgency and the fear of missing out on a psychological level. But aside from that, in addition, I mean, eBay also makes it way sweeter for you in the sense that if you have multiple items sold on a listing and then you have only 1 left in stock, you can, you know, look for it. I can show you an example, but not to get off course. eBay lights up your listing in red saying last one available, and like eBay also in addition tries to add to that fear of missing out and that urgency to make the customer look and say, oh wow, this product has 25 sold, there's only 1 left, I better buy it now. So, you know, if you have a quantity of 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, then you're not going to have that working in your favor. So I don't see the point in shooting yourself in the foot. You know, and again, it's not necessary. I mean, people very rarely are going to buy 2 or 3 at a time of something. I mean, usually they're going to buy 1, that's it, and then at the end it goes out of stock. 20 minutes later, your software puts it back in stock, and another person comes and looks at it and they buy it. You know, or if anything, they might message you and say, hey, I want to buy 2 of these. What can we do? And you work something out with them. Minimum price. That's if you wanted to set a minimum price on this specific product. So I wanted to say, the minimum price I want to set this at is whatever, you know, it's at $35.26 now. Say I want it to be set at no less than 33 bucks no matter what happens. So if I have this set, say at 33 bucks, what'll happen is it'll adjust the price depending on obviously how this price fluctuates, but it will never go below 33 bucks. So even if this drops down to like, you know, whatever, a significant drop, like it goes down to like 15 bucks so it drops 10 bucks, this wouldn't drop to 25 then, or more in that case. This would only drop to 33 in that example. Treat non-prime items out of stock. So what that means is if there's a particular item, you know, this item that you go on Amazon and it's being sold by nothing but third-party sellers that aren't prime sellers, just, you know, non-prime third-party sellers with longer shipping times and so forth, and a lot of times they also charge shipping. treat that out of stock. So I always have that enabled. I only want to deal with Amazon specifically. I only want to deal with Prime, because Prime, I'm going to get the 1 to 2 day shipping. You know, it's a lot better. Future date is when, okay, if you go to, again, this product listing, right, and then on Amazon sometimes it'll say like this product will be in stock 2 weeks from now, you know, whatever the date is. You can have this enabled so that way with the future dates shown, even though it's showing as out of stock, available on a future date, it'll still show as, you know, available. If you have it checked, it will show that in this, for Web Seller Guru, it will show that the item is out of stock. If you do not have it checked, meaning you don't care about it showing a future date, it'll leave it in stock, even though it says it's not going to be in stock until a future date. So, you know, that's how that all works there. So, well, I'll get to the conclusion of this quicker. I've been on this for 21 minutes. So, all right, I'm going to cover really quickly my last 2 recommendations. Or excuse me, actually my last recommendation, which is the one that I am currently using. And this one, in my opinion, is the best software right now to date. So, AutoDS is a very good software. Connects with also several different CMSs, platforms, not just eBay. But they have a lot of great features. Their non-API product is very, very good as well. And this also has other tools like price optimizations, other things that basically it'll adjust prices based on, you know, whatever. If you're trying to make sales faster during a certain period, it'll adjust prices to try to boost your sales as well. There's a lot of other cool tools here. So AutoDS is the one that I recommend these days. You know, second, I recommend Web Seller Guru if you don't want to go with AutoDS. Third, I recommend DSM Tool. So those are my 3 recommendations for these inventory management softwares, guys. And then the other one that, you know, if you see it or hear about it and you consider it, I encourage you to tread lightly. Definitely do your research. Is Skewgrid. So with that, you know, ran a little bit longer today, but if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. Be more than happy to start the dialogue with you. And if you like what I went over in this video, want to see more content like this, make sure to smash that like button, give me a follow or a subscribe. Definitely appreciate it. And I'll be back with you guys soon. So with that, have a great day. Keep hustling, guys. All right, peace.